Okay, go ahead. It's going live right now. Good, good morning. Good morning. We are super excited. We have today we had the Timmons on the call. Are you ready? Oops, lights. Okay, go ahead. You are muted by the way, Freda. Oh, you're still muted.
Might help if I unmute myself, huh?
Yeah. Now you're okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Adrian. We are so super excited to be a part of this business and to have the leadership that we do. And George and Adrian, everybody knows how great they are. But does everyone realize the amount of time and effort that they put behind the scenes, giving us the tools that we have to work with? It is phenomenal. And we so much appreciate everything they do. So we're going to start off real quick. Does anybody have anything they want to share? I hope that Astrid and Mike are on. I would love for her to share about the event that we did last night in Orlando. It was a great event. Astrid, are you available?
Yeah, she's there. Hi, Astrid.
There's,
Are you muted? You're muted.
there
Hi, good
she is.
morning.
Good
I
morning.
can talk, but I can't take off my video. Yeah, it was
Okay.
a great event, Frida and Gary. We had such a great time, met new people. The energy was great. We gathered efforts with Kina also and another four-star. I forgot her name. I'm sorry. But I appreciate Frida and Gary coming all the way from Ocala, drove for like over 2 hours to come, and their people are amazing. They have a great crew, a great team. It was great energy, very like a very organic event, and it was so much fun. Especially it was fun. So thank you, Gary and Frida for coming.
Thank you,
Oh,
Astrid. One of
thank
the
you and
things
Mike. Esther, you guys are awesome.
One of the things that was super exciting about last night is how we did it in such an open environment. And I don't know if any of you have ever been to the rainforest in Orlando, but it has a big volcano outside of it. And like every 30 minutes, this volcano shoots up this big ball of fire. And there's music and it's live and it's fun and it's exciting. And so we had this big long table. And as we were presenting and talking and giving our testimonies and things like that, people at other tables heard us and heard what we were saying. And they would come to us later and tap us on the shoulder and say, "What do you do?" Or we had one person just say to me, "Stop. I want to know what you do." And I said, "Well, quite honestly, I own my own business and I help people take control of their health and their finances." And he said, "Oh, that sounds like something I'd like to do. Can you give me more information?" I said, "Absolutely. What do you do?" He said, "I'm an attorney and my friend here is a dentist." I said, "Wonderful." So I got his name and number and I'll reach out to him. So there you go. That's what we keep talking about when we say let's do events consistently in open areas where other people can hear what you're doing. So, anybody else want to share before I get rolling or we get rolling? So, we're going to do something a little different this morning. How many of you remember back in your day when you role played? Anybody ever role played on your job? Anybody ever role played in training or teachings or just anybody ever role played? Yes. So, first, I want to make sure that everybody knows how to play with us here this morning because we're going to have some fun. Number one, across the bottom of your screen, whether it's your tablet, your iPad, your phone, you're going to have your audio, your video, your participants, your reaction, and your chat. And we're going to participate by raising your virtual hand. Okay, so does everyone know where their virtual hand is? I know sometimes we have people that are older like me in their 70s and 80s, and I don't know if we have any 90s or not, but anyway, to make sure everybody knows how to participate. So are we all good? Anybody want to share anything else before we start? All right, so here's the thing. You know what I feel like? I feel like sometimes that we don't realize how much a tiny bitty change can bring remarkable results. So what I find is a lot of times when people are out and about, they run out of names, or they think they do. I mean, if you look in your phone, you probably have 800 to 1,000 contacts in your phone. But with that said, sometimes people feel like, well, I don't know who to contact, or I don't have enough people to contact, blah, 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 blah. So one of the things we kind of focus on is how do we get names? How do we talk to people? How do we approach these people? How many of you have ever been out and you saw this person and you thought, oh my gosh, they would be awesome in the business? What do I say to them? Anybody ever felt that way? Yeah, Charlotte, I agree. I felt that way many times. So let's talk about that. If you are out in a grocery store, or you're at a doctor's office, or you are at a gas station, or you're out eating, or you're at a retail store, or you're in the gym, or you're at the dog park walking your dog, what do you say to these people? How do you approach them? You know what the magic bullet really is? And I want everybody that has their picture on right now to do this. Just smile. Just show your teeth. Just smile. Because I guarantee you, when you smile, they're going to smile back at you. And if they don't, they're probably not the people you want in your business anyway. So first of all, I have to apologize because I'm a red personality. I'm not judgmental, but I'm very, let's just say, outspoken. You know, being in business ourselves, Gary and I have always been in business for ourselves. So we've kind of always had to be the leader, the boss, the one out front. And, you know, we're not here to boss anybody around in business. We're only here to share what we've learned over the years. And we've learned a lot in 70 some years, trust me. We have operated as many as 9 different businesses at one time, had over 1,000 employees at one time in our life. And we were fortunate enough to retire at 55. And why? Honestly, I believe that it's because we treat people the way we want to be treated. And, you know, that speaks volumes when you're working with your team as well. And I empathize with people who have never been in business with themselves and they're trying to build a business, but they don't really know how to communicate with people. I get that. Sometimes it's out of fear. So let's have some fun and just role play. And we kind of set the stage for this a little bit. So, hey, Greg, I'm your landscaper. Meet me for the first time.
Hey, George, I sure appreciate you coming out here and taking care of what we needed done and everything. Is this the only business that you do, or what else is going on in your life?
No, this is the only business I have.
Oh, would you be open to looking at something you can do in your spare time that's not going to affect what you're doing right now?
Yes. Can you share with me what it is?
I certainly can. I've got your name and number. Are you available tonight or tomorrow night?
See what he's doing, guys? What's he doing? Question after question after question. He's nailing it down. He's cutting the small talk and he's getting to the point. You know, when you approach somebody to get their name or their number or to set them up for a meeting, the one who talks the most loses. And that's true in any case, because your mission and your purpose was solely what? Just to get that name and number. That's it. Nothing more. So let's see. Who else is on here? I don't know who else is on this one. I can't see everybody's face. How about Lynn? I see you somewhere, right? Hey, Lynn, you're out on one of your runs. Get my name and number, girl.
Well, hey, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
So is this your only event that you've participated in?
Yes.
Are you planning on coming back?
Perhaps.
So what do you do to keep yourself healthy?
Oh, I own my own business.
Yes, really? And what is your business?
I'm sorry?
What do you do?
Oh, my business is in health and nutrition.
Wonderful. I would love to talk to you more. I'm also in health and wellness. Are you open to learn more about my business in this industry?
Oh, absolutely. Because
Wonderful.
I like anything that would entice my business.
Is it okay if, I'm sorry.
There you go. What did she do? 3 sentences, and she had the name and number. You see where I'm going with this? I have people who have talked themselves into getting a name and number and then talked themselves right out of the name and number because they kept talking. That's not something you want to do. So one more thing here real quick. I want somebody to raise their hand and give me an invite to whatever situation where you may have met someone and you were like maybe standing in the grocery store long and you were afraid to turn around and say hi, da, da, da. Anybody want to do that with us? Come on, guys. Let's not be afraid. Okay, so let's see who else I can call on here. Gary, you want to talk about how you approach people that we have never met?
Yeah, most of the time, like Frida said, you see this person, but a good opening line that I've used, do you live near here or do you live in this area? Because there are always strange people on. That kind of opens the door. And like Frida says, then you just continue asking questions, like if they say, yes, I live here, and what do you do? And that kind of opens the door. And you'll get to that point of asking questions that door be opened and you'll have a chance to say, let's share names, let's share information. I'll send you a link or however you want to approach that. So that's what I do most of the time.
So you're going to do, thank you, Gary.
I don't do it with women. I don't go up to women and say, I like your hair or anything like that. But most of the time, they'll have a child or something like that. You can talk about the child, you got a beautiful child, blah, blah, blah. Do you live in the area? Those types of things is the way I use the portrait.
It's so easy to give someone a compliment when you walk up to them. Like, for example, if I were going to walk up to Shannon, I would look at Shannon and say, oh my gosh, I love your hair. You're beautiful. Where do you get your hair done? I mean, it's that simple. Right, Shannon? I don't know if Shannon's on. I just used her as an example. But that's what you have to do. You have to step outside of your comfort zone because that tiny change that you make is going to bring you big, big results. For example, one of the things that we did a couple of weeks ago, and we did it for 2 weeks or almost 3 weeks consistently, we took different team members out that were giving us the statements of, I don't know how to meet people. I don't know how to start conversations. I don't know how to talk to people. So we started taking them out to different locations like coffee shops. We have what we call a Midtown Station, which is a whole bunch of restaurants together in one area, the World Equestrian Center. I mean, we were taking them everywhere and we were teaching them how to walk up to people and get their name and number, how to have conversation starters. And we're going to talk about conversation starters here in just a minute. But one of the girls that was out with us was sitting at her table with us. And I said, go talk to that person over there. She said, I can't. I'm afraid. I can't. I said, okay, come with me. I took her to that table. I introduced her to that table. I got 4 names for her from that table. Okay. And that's how it went. Now you're wondering, what did I say to those people? We walked up to the table and we just simply said, you guys are having way too much fun over here. What are you celebrating? Well, just so happened it was the guy that was doing all the talking. It was his birthday. Well, guess what? Birthday boy gave us his number. His person across from him did, and 3 other people at his table did as well. So that was her first contact. Now, remember, this was a big venue, so there's a lot of people there. So I sat down with her at the table and I said, now, did you die from that? She said, no. I said, okay, let's go do it again. She said, okay. I said, now get up, go do it on your own. And guys, I'm a red personality, so I have to apologize for being so direct, but hey, that's just me. Get to the point, So she walks up to the next person and she goes, hi, my name is, and I'm not going to call her name out. She said, could I ask you a question? Do you know anybody open to making more money? Because that's exactly what I told her to say. She said, yeah. He said, yes. How about me? Perfect. Can I get your name and number? And she did. She came back to the table, all glowing, all excited, because now what has she done? She's got 5 people in less than 10 minutes. And I looked at her and I said, okay, who's next? She jumped up out of her seat. She went to the next person. Same thing all over again, the same connection. Are you open to do you know anybody open to making more money? Because I'm expanding a business. He said, yes. How about me? Ha, another name and number. Okay, so now she's got 6 names and numbers. And by that time, it was getting late, so we had to leave. And I'm telling the story only because when she walked out the door as we were exiting, I got to show you what she did. She went, ching, ching. Ah. So what did we do? Did we build her confidence? Did we show her she wasn't going to die from it? Did we show her that it was going to be okay just to say that to people? Absolutely. So a few of the conversation starters that we use, and I use the ones that kind of fit the person, because I always say things like, are you open to earning extra income if it didn't interfere with what you're already doing? And most of the time, guess what people are going to say?
Yes.
They're going to say yes. They're going to say yes. So another one I use is, if you could create an additional stream of income this year, how would that change things for you? That makes people stop and think.
I think a key point too, I don't want to interrupt, Freda. I think a key point there, when you say those things and the people say yes, what is that next step that you do?
My next step, great question, Gary. My next step is simply this. I either hand them my phone to get their name and number, or I get their name and number and put it in my phone, and that's it.
Yep.
No more conversation. I will tell you, and I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Caroline. Caroline, would you like to share? I think you said one time that you talked to Dan Piku, and Dan said to you, I think you asked the question, how do you approach people or something like that? You want to explain?
Right. Yeah, so I asked him, how would you approach people? Because I want to know how to build my business. And he said, don't spend hours with one person. He says, spend 15 minutes. And he said, if they're not worth your time right now, move on.
I'm totally right. Thank you, Caroline. I tell people all the time.
You're wasting time by 2 hours with one person. It might not be the right person.
Exactly. I tell people all the time, if you can't get that name and number within the first 90 seconds, you're talking too much. Okay? Because that's your mission. That's what you're doing. That's what you're after. You're after the name and the number, making the connection, getting the name and number. And sometimes I even say the line, have you ever considered building a online business around wellness and helping others? Sometimes I use that question. Or do you know anyone who's looking for ways to make money from their home in their own time? There's all kinds of conversation starters. Another one that we use a lot is, especially if we're in a new area, we say things like, we're expanding our business and we're looking for a few sharp leaders. Get that word? Sharp leaders who want to earn more money. Now, what's the 2 key words there? Leaders and money. Leaders and money. And do you keep your options open? And yes, they absolutely will say yes. We also have people that feel like they're afraid to talk with people that have money or wealthy people. What's wealthy? In this day and age, everybody's broke at a different level. Seriously, you can have $500,000, $1 million, or $10 million, but you're going to live your lifestyle at that level as well. So that's why I say, I don't care if you're rich or poor, in the middle. You're basically broke at a different level, because everybody in life who has millions wants more millions. I'm sure Nicole loves what she does and is very successful, but I'm sure that she has bigger dreams as well. Everyone does. And if not, then I'm going to say, well, maybe we should, and this is a line I really should not use, but again, I apologize, I'm a red. If you don't have big dreams that are bigger than you need to check up from the neck up, because you need to really think about, why am I going to be the same in the same situation at the end of 2026 that I am at the end of 2025? Lord, I hope not. I hope not. I hope that you had the courage to make that tiny change so that you can get remarkable results as well. And how do you do that? You do that by exactly what we're talking about. You do that by stepping out, being open, put that smile on your face, and make that connection in 90 seconds. Okay, one more, Patty.
Yes.
I just met you, or you just met me. I'm in the grocery line with you.
Okay.
Get my name and number.
Okay. Hey, how are you doing today?
Fine. How are you?
Oh, just fine. I noticed that you seem to have a very sharp eye for the fruit. And I have a tendency to lean towards cherries, but you seem to know what you're doing with the oranges. Could you tell me what you do?
Oh, yeah, I
Are
make
you?
this. Yes, I make this. I make this orange dessert.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. I'd love to have your recipe. Uh, Let me ask you this. Do you do that as a hobby or do you do that as a business?
No, no, I'm not. It's not my hobby. I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher. Oh, I love that. Well, as a teacher, I know that you spend a lot of time with your students and you train them and you work with them and you follow up with them. Um, do you keep your options open for other opportunities to do the same?
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Well, I would love to get your information and I can send you information about what I do. Would that be okay with you?
Absolutely. What did you do?
Great. Well, it is my pleasure to meet you. And after we exchange information, I will give you a follow-up call later this afternoon.
Awesome. In 90 seconds, she got my name and number. In 90 seconds, she got my name and number. And I guarantee you that she puts it in her app. And I bet you she sends me information out of her app.
Mhm.
And her app's going to tell her when I looked at it. And then she's going to follow up with me again. Guys, this business is so simple. It is so simple. We tend to complicate it. We really do. And that's where we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Mhm.
Sometimes when, like the event that we did yesterday in Orlando, other people, as I said, overheard our conversations, our testimonies, and things like that.
Oh, okay.
And
So, what, local or?
yes,
Yeah.
it's right. Somewhere. Okay, got it. One of the two people that asked me what we do, when, like I said, one was a dentist and one was a lawyer, and in my mind, I was thinking, okay, so I've got a lawyer. What does he do? He picks pockets. I've got a dentist. What does he do? He plays in saliva all day. They got to love their jobs. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but think about it. Not every profession that they originally thought was going to be all that, 5 or 6 or 7 years into it, it probably isn't what they really want to do. And everyone is looking. Everyone is looking. It's just a matter of how we boldly step out, smile, and approach them. So in the last 4 minutes here, go ahead, Maylee. Hands up.
Hi, Freda. Thank you. I really enjoy the role playing because I've done quite a bit of role playing in the past in my previous career, but I hate role playing at the same time, because it feels so unnatural. So I live in a condo and I get not a lot, but from time to time, I'll have like a contractor or someone come through my place. I had somebody here this morning actually, and we got into a nice conversation about like natural remedies for different things. And I have found myself sometimes speaking too soon. I feel like I speak too soon to people, and then I kind of ruin my chances. And so I didn't say anything to him yet, and I'll have a chance to connect with him again, and I'm going to text him some information. So I'm wondering if we could kind of play around with how to approach, like when people come in. I actually had a conversation with a window washer here a while back, and that went really well. But then he decided he didn't have time for the business, you know. So I'm just curious, like, how would you maybe approach someone who comes into your home? Maybe they're fixing your refrigerator, doing whatever. Maybe we could just play around with that for a moment if we have time.
No, my goodness, yes. And that's a great, great scenario because that happens so much.
Yeah.
I would just say to somebody like, depending on, I don't know how to say this, but depending upon his demeanor, for example, sometimes you have contractors out there that are minimum wage earners.
Yeah.
Their thinking is going to be a little bit different than someone who's making millions a year. So with someone like that, and I'm assuming, which I shouldn't do, that he doesn't make a lot of money. So to him, I would say something like, hey, tell me something. Would an extra $500 to $1,000 mean anything to you and your family? That's a question to get him to start talking. And if he says no, then your next question would be, tell me something. What kind of money would it take for you to replace your current income? Get a conversation going with him on asking questions only. Okay? Don't try to tell him anything. There's the old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So don't try to tell him anything. Try to find out more about him. Okay? Is he married? Does he have a family? Okay? Does his wife work? So what are you doing? You're qualifying. Does he have small children? Would he like to bring his wife home from work so that she could raise the children? You see where I'm going with this? Build that relationship. I would absolutely say to him that question. What would it take to replace your current income? Do you love what you're doing? Is he in his business? Is he in his own business, or is he working for the man or somebody else? See where I'm going with that? Find that out. Okay? And then just simply say to him, this may or may not be for you, but I would love to share something with you and your family. Could you give me your name and number, please? And then quit. You're done. You're not going to share anything at the moment. You're not going to talk to him about anything else. Your mission was solely to get his name and number. George, that's a wrap.
Thank you, Freda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And great, great. And by the way, one of the things that I love about that is that it's just conversations. It's just open conversation. Some of you have been with me in restaurants when I approach the manager or a good, if it's a server, that's really good. And it's very easy. I know it's scary, but it's very easy. When I'm talking to the manager, first of all, you compliment the person. You say, "Oh, thank you very much. This is amazing. I love the attention in the restaurant, etc." And then I say, "What? Do you do something else?" And usually people say no. And I say, "You know what? Because I open this area and I'm looking for sharp people like yours that just in about an hour or 2 hours a day, they can start building a business that eventually could be a six-figure income. And you impress me. Or if you know anybody like you." I always say, you know anybody like you? And always, 100% of the time, I get the phone number. Something that I think it was Kyle that put it on the side. She said, where is it? You seem like such an entrepreneurial spark. We are looking for sharp leaders, and people are curious. Sharp leaders or what? I love Kyle's approach. Always. And by the way, I prefer, remember, you have only one chance to connect with the person. I don't go into the products, because then you are losing the chance of possible entrepreneur. Because if you are talking about the products in your first contact, first of all, you may talk too much and they are going to say they are selling me something. It's why it's so important, sharp, to talk about business. Christine, when she approached in Chicago, Kimberly, when she was working as an engineer, she didn't go to her and say, "I have a great skincare system" or anything like that, because she was at the time in Mary Kay. She just approached her because she's first tell her, oh, I love the way that you're dressed. I mean, she connects with her. That's very important. And we don't want to, again, waste of opportunity. I hate to say it because some people say, that means that the product is not important. It is very important, but you have a very short narrow. And if you, again, are talking about product, the person in their head are thinking, oh, they are selling me. But when you have an approach that you are first complimenting a person about something, like they were saying, oh, I love your shoes, I like your dress, or whatever. Guys, we have more limitation, by the way. It's hard for us to say the same thing because it can be taken the wrong way. However, still we can have a conversation. Holy cow, you're sharp. We are expanding our area, and I'm very, very impressed with you. Always I like to compliment the person. But anyway, conversations are just that, conversations. Sometimes it's funny when we are talking to people, we transform ourselves into somebody totally different. Let's suppose that you are talking like that normally, and as soon as you are going to talk to people, you change your voice. Well, let me tell you about something important that I have. Suddenly you change, you be just yourself. You can even, I mean, if it's funny, I love to use humor. Humor open up, probably because that's my personality. I love to use humor in one way or another one. And by the way, talking about humor, a few years ago, we were in a meeting and there were several tables, and the goal of each table, each leader in each table, was to send somebody to talk to somebody and get a phone number, like Frida was saying. And one of the girls got up in one of the other tables, and then we saw her going and said, oh, she's going to talk. And everybody's looking at her. And then got a great conversation. And the people are talking to her, and she walks away. And then she goes to talk to somebody else that's one of the waiters. And she comes scared. And then they're laughing in the other table. And we asked, what happened? Well, they thought that she was the server, and they asked if we can have an extra Coke. And she said, oh, yeah, sure. And she went to the server to say, hey, they want a Coke. Because she got so scared. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much. We needed something like this morning.
Can I jump in, George?
Yeah, go ahead,
oh my
Nicole.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, like happy Friday. And Frida, Gary, just you like knocked it out of the park. I want to say it's like Mastermind is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get or what you need. And we all needed this today. So thank you. It's so simple and we are overcomplicating it. And I love the role play. I love the simplicity of you all dining out and just the excitement, the energy, and leading with the business. And I know Caroline put in the chat, like, could we get a list of some of those questions if you happen to have those, or we can get it off the recording. But I would recommend, and what I'm going to do with my leaders is we do need to coach on this. We're talking too much and we're talking ourselves out of it. And I learned that early on in this business. And so it's hard, right? We're excited. We get excited about the products, about the company, about meeting Daniel Piku and Dr. Dan Gubler. And, we want to vomit on everyone. And so thank you for everyone that participated in the role play because you helped us, like you all helped us. But thank you, Frida, for leading this great session. And what I was going to say is like, I want to pick, and this is how I'm going to do it, is take my two leaders that I have in mind, and I'm going to share this with them and coach and role play with them. And then I'm going to take two more leaders and do it with them and have this conversation with them and say, I just learned on a training today. I think sometimes we overtalk. What do you think about that? And like really like sit down with some key people that you have, because that's how this is going to trickle out. We are going to be able to, help our team. But I think it was such a great message today. So I just had to say that to you guys. Thank you so much.
George, you're on mute.
They have conversation started. Kimberly just posted, and I think Carol did the same thing earlier. You copy that. That's 20 conversations started. Right now, for those of you that have the app, and we are going to be training on that, but the app, if you go to the vault, Oh no, you cannot go yet because I have to send the text. We are adding all those stuff to much easier for people to find everything. And the Vault on the app. The app is going to become the best source for anything, for how to do a presentation, how to do the pay plan, how to do all stuff with the new Vault site. It's amazing. I've been working on that because we learned it just last week. And I have already a lot of stuff there, a lot of material. But as soon as it's ready, I'm going to start sending the link. And you just to get access to that, you are going to have a link. It's called the Vault. You are going to see it already in your app, although the only thing that you're going to see there is the training for the app. By the way, it's very important that you look at that, how the features, especially the Vault and the website are, because they are amazing. I'm going to be doing a strong training on that. Freda, go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing I want to do is echo off of what Nicole just said, taking 2 to 4 people. That's exactly what we did for a solid 4 weeks. We took four people at lunchtime. We actually did the coffee shops like in the morning, or we did 12 to 2. And it made such a difference in their teams, Nicole. So thank you for saying that.
Go ahead, Caroline. And thank you, Freda. Caroline.
Yeah, I want to thank Frida and Gary for doing this again. People who know me probably don't think I get anxiety, but doing role play gives me a lot of anxiety. So this gets me out of my shell. So thank you again for doing this.
I agree. Thank you very much. We need it, like I said. Thank you. And Craig, go ahead.
Yeah. I want to say this training was great. Kind of knew it was coming and everything, but Lynn and I went to a Christmas networking event last night. And I want to say thanks, Lynn, because it was in the last 3 or 4 hours you got invited and you went. We had a great time. But we definitely used this technique and came away with great contacts. One is a doctor that I had met last year, and she had kind of forgotten and everything. And her assistant says, "I've got your card. I want to give it to you. Here, let me take you to her." So short and sweet is definitely the way to go. And all this training pays off on here very much, and so appreciative.
Yes, thank you very much. And by the way, I want to make sure on the right side, make sure that print those scripts. Go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, everybody, just be yourself.
Yes.
Just be yourself. It's not going to kill you. And you might laugh and have a good time, and you never know who you're going to meet. And don't be afraid at all. Just get out there and be yourself and have fun with it. You have a gift to give.
I know. By the way, something that I tried to do when I was starting out was to try to lose my accent. That was not a good idea. I had to be myself. Anybody else? Okay, Frida and Gary, anything that you want to say just to finish, to close?
I just want to thank you, George, for giving us the opportunity to share over the number of years in our life. And we have been so blessed. And at the age of 55, when we retired, we look back over our career and we actually live our life saying to each other all the time, we have to keep going. We have to do this business because, quite honestly, to whom much is given, much is required. And our joy and our passion is right here with each and every one of you. Thank you all.
Yeah, and I agree. Thank you, George and Adrian, for what you do every day and the support that we get. We appreciate that so much. And yeah, like Frida says, we just enjoy giving back. Like, I'm happy when people get names, not seeing them succeed. I mean, that gives me joy. So
Thank you
thank you,
very
guys.
much, everybody. And like always, this is recorded in our Legacy Makers, and soon it's going to be also in the Vault in the app. Everything you're going to be reaching the app. Actually, it's already there. It's just that I'm playing with it. I don't want to release it until some little things are corrected. But anyway, but thank you. We want to make sure we have not only the fastest growing team in network in here, but in network marketing and the best training available. We and not because us, because Adrian and I, it's because all of you. We have an incredible group of people here that they are going to be super leaders in the future. When I mean super leader, we are talking about ranking 6 stars, 7 stars, and above. because we had you are a really, really quality people. And the other thing that's missing is to be consistent all the time, because eventually that's the X factor, by the way, in everything. It's consistency and persistency, and never to give up. We have the tools, we have the company, we have the products, we have the team, we have the people. I mean, what else do we want? But anyway, thank you very much, everybody. We see you tomorrow. We have the call. We are going to make some improvements in the future calls also in Saudi, because again, is like I said before the convention, that was going to be the beginning of something and started something. Well, January, there's going to be something big. That's the beginning, even a stage bigger. But anyway, but we don't have to wait till January. We are planting the seeds now. Don't just say, okay, well, I ain't going to rest until January 1st. No. Okay. But thank you very much, everybody. Have an amazing Friday and weekend. Thank you.